Welcome back, everyone, to my coverage of the 2022 USBCs as we follow the Spector team. They just won their match in the round of 16, and we move on to their quarterfinal match today, where I'm going to be taking a look at the first segment of play. I think I made a mistake earlier when I announced that they might have been the 8 or 9 seed. It looks, based on the pairings, like they're the number 2 seed going into the event. So here they are taking on the Beatty team, and we're going to take a look at the first segment of that match. All right, let's jump on in, and this is the scorecard. So in the first segment, we have John Kraniak and Vince DeMoy in the open room playing against Fred Stewart and Steve Beatty. And in the closed room, we have Kevin Bathurst and John Hurd playing against Mark Jacobus and Jeff Luster. What have we got? We have a few swings for either side. And I think I want to take a look at this board 7 to start off with. Both sides reached the same contract, but one of them was able to actually double the opponents when it looks like they were going down several tricks. So let's take a look maybe in the open room first. And here we have John Kraniak and Vince DeMoy, who have the hands with the diamonds, it looks like. And let's see what happens. So South with a 10 count, 5-5 in both majors. This is a very clear 1 spade opening bid. Despite not having 12 high card points like a lot of people might think, the extra distribution and shape makes up for it. And especially given that we have the major suits, it's very easy to bid our hand. We open a spade, we bid 2 hearts. If necessary, we bid 3 hearts, and that shows our whole hand. So West has nothing to do over spade. He doesn't have diamond length, so there's no takeout double with 11 high card points. Probably not even worthwhile, even if he did have diamond length. The hand's a little too weak, vulnerable. North bids a no trump. I don't exactly know their system. 1 no trump is not alerted, but most people play some sort of 1 no trump forcing, or either semi-forcing maybe, in a 2/1 context, and I'm pretty sure that John and Vince play 2/1. East passes. Again, the only suits that have been bid by the opponents are spades, and East has long spades, so despite having 13 highs, he has nothing to say. 2 hearts by South. 3 diamonds by North. So this is their way to show a weak hand with diamonds. We're just saying, I have long diamonds, I'm signing off. I think that has a lot of merit. Alternative choices are to just bid 2 spades with North's hand, correct to what we expect to be partner's long suit, because he opened a spade. But I do think that bidding 3 diamonds makes the most sense with this hand. We expect to not have very good fits with partner in either spades or hearts, and there's some possibility that we actually do find a diamond fit by bidding this way. So all of the opponents pass, and I suppose the only interesting question here is whether East should take an action over 3 diamonds, for example, to double. He knows that he has good spades. The heart suit doesn't look great from East's perspective. So there could be some worry that if we do double, that the opponents might actually run to 3 hearts, in which case we can tell that they're going to do very well in that contract with our king and 10 of hearts on side, and the suits splitting in some favorable fashion for them, either king 10 third and they split 3-3, or in this scenario, even in a 5-1 fit, the opponents only have 1 heart loser. I don't know what I would do, honestly. I think in general, when the opponents just bid, and stop in some contract, unless you have a very strong reason to go after them, and here we're getting there. The ace king 9 of diamonds is looking like probably 3 defensive tricks. I mean, it is, unless there's some sort of weird finesse going on where South has the 10-8 of diamonds and can hook through our 9. And the opponents have suggested they're trying to sign off. Now, South could still have a very strong hand for this auction, so there is a bit of worry that even if we get 3 diamond tricks, maybe South has an 18 count and just wasn't quite strong enough to jump shift to 3 hearts, in which case we could be in trouble. We'll get our 3 diamond tricks, but then maybe we get nothing else, given that the King of Hearts is on side. So there's definitely a reason to be concerned about doubling, and I think that's why East decided not to double in this auction. Let's take a look at how the play went. So the most natural opening lead, I think, is a club, because South has bid both majors, and we don't really want to lead a heart for sure. A spade is possible, but I would be a little tentative, especially if South turns up with the ace, king, 10 of spades. We don't really want to give away the fact that we have both the queen and jack on the opening lead. So I would expect a club. It's also possible that we might get a club ruff in some unusual scenarios, like South holding 5 spades, 4 hearts, 1 diamond, and 3 clubs. So we might be able to ruff the 3rd round of clubs, and then maybe even get trump promotion for our 9 of diamonds. Let's take a look at what happened. So East makes what I would say is a normal opening club lead. South probably covers this with the 10, but it seems okay to play small. He plays small. And West, after seeing the 9 of clubs opening lead, I don't know exactly what kind of leads they're playing, but with the 10 and dummy, this can't be from any sort of honor holding. So West knows that North has good clubs, the king jack at least, for this opening lead. And he probably suspects that his partner has some good diamonds. North has showed a sign off. So with the king and jack of clubs, if North also had good diamonds, he would have at least invited, or maybe even game forced. So with all that, it probably makes the most sense for West to win the ace of clubs and switch to a small diamond, probably the 8. The reason we don't want to play the jack is not because we want to confuse our partner, but we want to give to Claire as little information as possible about what's going on in the diamond suit. So that's the defense I would expect. Okay, West just elects to duck the opening club lead. This also has some merit, given that we know North's clubs are not going anywhere. Forcing North to make the next lead allows us some leeway in how we end up defending the hand. Like, for example, if North now leads a spade towards the king and we win the ace, we won't have given up our ace of clubs, which could be an important stopper later in the game, and we'll still be able to switch to a diamond. And of course, if North leads a club away from the king, then we're going to be able to cheaply win our queen of clubs, and we'll still have the ace in reserve. So this makes a lot of sense as well, to duck the opening club lead. North wins the jack, and I have to imagine North is going to take a heart finesse. North knows he's in a lot of trouble, given that the hands don't fit very well, so his best chance is to get a little lucky. And especially because North is not doubled in this contract, there's not a lot of concern about going down an extra trick if, say, the heart finesse loses. Whereas if the heart finesse holds, then maybe we actually have some play to make this contract. We can discard our spade loser and lead a club immediately up towards the king. We know the opponents are then going to have to switch to diamonds for us. And if the club suit happens to split 3-3, albeit unlikely, but this opening lead could have just been to, not necessarily from a doubleton, but to suggest that East has no club honors to tell his partner that, because everyone at the table knew a club was going to be led at trick 1. There's some chance that we could make this. You know, maybe we lose 3 diamonds and 1 club trick with the clubs coming home. So diamonds would need to split, clubs would need to split, the ace of clubs needs to be on side, which we expect. The king of hearts needs to be on side, but there are some chances to make this, and all we're risking is an extra under trick, probably. Now that would be a little more concerning if we were doubled in the contract, where we might not want to take that risk because then it could cost an extra 300 points. So I expect a heart finesse to be taken. An alternative line is probably to just lead a spade, and East is probably going to duck, and then we probably duck. I think East will probably cover with the jack to force out the king, but I don't think we should be leading a spade to the king. That gives up a little too much control. The opponents will always be able to then just tap us in spades, and then even if the diamond suit splits well, we'll lose control of the hand. So let's see what John does. He does lead a spade up, and I wonder if he would have made this play if dummy didn't have the spade 9. Because when this gets covered by the queen and king, there's some potential to use the 9 of spades later as a stopper in the suit. Okay, this is also a reasonable alternative. So now he expects that once the 10 of spades is covered, East probably has both spade honors. He wouldn't just pop up with a spade queen from queen empty in spades, or at least it's very unlikely. So now the spade suit is frozen, the opponents can't lead the suit anymore, so they're going to have to do something else. And given that East is winning this trick, a club return gives him the club finesse that he can't easily take himself. A diamond return is obviously great for Declare. So let's see what happens. East wins the spade queen, and I expect a small heart to come through, because that's the only suit that it looks like East can lead safely. And Declare could have led a heart himself if he wanted to take the finesse, so East shouldn't be that concerned, even though he's looking at these menacing hearts in dummy, that Declare is now going to take a heart finesse. He does. Switch to a heart. And at this point, it feels like there's not a whole lot of gain in taking the heart finesse, so we should just hop up with the ace. The 9 of hearts gets played, and that feels like a count signal to me. So maybe the East-West pair is playing standard count. I suspect that both defenders are well aware that Declare doesn't have the heart king in this scenario, or for this line of play, and for the bidding as well. So it's not that important that West signals his attitude about hearts. It's more important that he tells his partner count, so that East will know when he gets in next if he can cash the heart king or not. So Declare leads a club up. This is his last time in dummy, so he needs to take a club finesse. West is going to hop up with the ace, and now we'll surely play back a small diamond. The jack is okay in this scenario, but I think the 8 of diamonds is more practical. So he does return the 8 of diamonds. This is good play so far by both sides, I would say. And North has decisions to make. I think the most natural decision is to just play the 10 on this. So East wins the king, and now has a choice to make. He's kind of end played in a way. He knows that a spade return will force out his partner's ace and set up dummy's king. He knows the king of hearts return will set up dummy's hearts. Nonetheless, Declare is never getting back to the dummy, so East can choose which one of these he wants to lead. He leads a small spade, and the 9 of spades finesses out the ace. And Declare now leads the queen of diamonds, and this is a really strong lead, or a really strong play at this point. He knows that the 7 and 6 of diamonds have some amount of value. West switched to the diamond 8, which is probably his lowest diamond, because he wouldn't just easily give up the 8 of diamonds for no reason. So it does feel a little bit like West started with Jack Doubleton of diamonds, especially when the 10 of diamonds forces out the king. There are obviously positions where the opponents can trick you in these scenarios, like East could have started with King, Jack, 9, 4th of diamonds, in which case leading the queen of diamonds now will run directly into the ace doubleton in West's hand. But these plays are hard to make in tempo, and you don't always see it as a defender. So Declare took the best guess he had, and gets a little rewarded now. Now the 7, 6 of diamonds will be able to force out the 9 and pull trumps. And it turns out East is getting a little end played here. He has to either lead spades at this point to dummy's king, which will provide a trick, or he can set up dummy's hearts by leading the king of hearts. So he leads the king of hearts to tap declare again. Declare wins and starts pulling trump. And he's successfully set up the 7 of diamonds. East still has a diamond trick, but now East must exit a card to the dummy. So East returns a heart. Nothing else is better. Declare wins, discarding a club, plays the jack of hearts or king of spades. None of this matters too much to discard his next club. East roughs in, but then declares hand is high. So he was able to get rid of his club loser by end playing East several times into leading to dummies winners. Okay. So 2 tricks down and minus 200. But let's take a look at what happened at the other table. Oh my. Well, I can see why this contract got doubled. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. South at this table elects not to open, and this is a big no-no. We always want to bid earlier rather than later in auctions because, as I've mentioned a couple times, it stops the opponents from really getting their suits together and understanding where their fits are, how many high card points they have. So it's much harder for them to double us if it's not our hand, and oftentimes by opening we preempt them out of finding their fit in the first place. So a 1 spade opening will stop the opponents from bidding either clubs or diamonds at the 1 level, and many hands that could open a diamond or a club just aren't strong enough to come in over a 1 spade opening bid. So, or just aren't distributional enough, I guess is a better way of putting it, because the most flexible way to enter over those auctions is to make a takeout double. And many of these hands will have 3 card spades, maybe not very many hearts, especially given that we have 5. So a 1 spade opening bid, assuming that we feel like we have the strength for the bid in terms of offense, we really want to put that bid on the table as much as possible. And here, there's a common rule that a lot of experts like to refer to as the rule of 20, which means count up your high card points, count up the lengths of your 2 longest suits, and if that equals to 20, you should open the bidding. There's also another rule called the rule of 15, which is count up the number of spades you have and your number of high card points. If that totals to at least 15, you should open the bidding. But both of those metrics, South's hand is good enough to open, and there's just no wastage. The king of spades is a great card, the ace, queen, jack of hearts, all honors in our long suits, so it's not like we have queen doubleton of clubs or singleton king of diamonds for our 10 high card points. All of our honors are working. The 9 of spades is a good card, the 7 of hearts is probably a useful spot card for us to have, the 10 of clubs could be helpful in some way. So all around, this is just a great hand to be opening the bidding. South elects not to do that, and pass, North in 3rd seat, even though he's vulnerable, really needs to do something, because with 3rd seat is one of those seats where you just really want to preempt. East could have a very strong hand, and getting into the auction preemptively will stop the opponents from finding their fits easily. So this is a concept I'm sure a lot of bridge players are familiar with. I don't want to harp on it too much, but that's why North feels obligated to do something, and he elects to bid 3 diamonds. For the most part, these hands are all just kind of a coin flip. You know, North of course could open 2 diamonds, showing a weak hand. Well, maybe he couldn't. It's unclear what their system is. Maybe a 2 diamond opening bid would show a weak hand with 1 major, or a Flannery type hand. I don't really know what they're playing, but it's possible North didn't have a weak 2 diamond bid available. Nonetheless, I think 3 diamonds is a very respectable bid, no matter what kind of system they're playing. North's diamonds are pretty weak, but his distribution is excellent, and this is a more preemptive bid. He probably expects the opponents to have at least 1 major suit fit. So, you know, if the auction goes 3 diamonds, 3 spades, pass, 3 no trump, all pass, the opponents could have missed a heart fit completely. Whereas if we open 2 diamonds, it could go 2 spades, pass 3 hearts, pass 4 hearts. So there's some extra upside in terms of preempting at a higher level, but it does come with some associated risk, and that can be seen here where North's diamonds are very weak. So this is an argument against opening 3 diamonds. I'm okay with the bid. When I played, if my partner made bids like this and went for 800 or 1100 or 1400, it's all part of the game. You know, a partner's not trying to be a hero and solo win the game for our team. They're just doing what they think will get us a good result. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I don't think there should be any bad blood when this happens between partnerships, but obviously it does sting a little bit when the auction proceeds as it does, which is East passes, he has nothing to say. South passes, he has nothing to say. And West reopens with a takeout double. He's short in diamonds. The opponents have preempted. It looks like the high card points are probably fairly evenly split between the hands. And so he feels like coming into the auction and takeout double is the most flexible. And East, with excellent trumps, decides to pass this out. So let's see how the defense went. In this scenario, I might actually expect a major suit opening lead. Here, South has not bid both majors, and given the takeout double, East probably expects his partner to hold some good major suit cards, so a spade lead looks the most natural to me. But I could also see a club being led. It's a little safe. I expect a spade to be safe as well, but the club has that added bonus that we talked about where maybe East can rough the 3rd round of clubs. And also, maybe East will then be able to get a trump promotion later on the 4th round of clubs, giving him, well, a club rough and 3 diamond tricks still, which would be enormous. But yeah, the spade lead makes a lot of sense given the auction. They play roost-no lead, so the jack of spades shows the queen. South has some choices, but I think I've talked a lot about the decisions that Declare has in this kind of hand. He does know that the ace of spades is offside from this opening lead and knows the distribution of honors, so I would expect him to duck this trick. And now East switches to a heart. Yep, this makes a ton of sense. The spade from West was actually probably count. It could have been suit preference. I'm not entirely sure, one way or another. But now, given the takeout double, North is probably very unlikely to take the heart finesse. Also, there's not a whole lot to be gained. He gets to discard a club, but his 5th round of clubs might be a winner in the end anyway. So he hops up with the heart ace, probably leads a club now. 10 of clubs, sure. West wins the ace and can see that Declare is trying to rough clubs, so he switches to diamonds. Again, note the 8 of diamonds. This is a very strong play. North puts in the 10 once again. East wins and fires back a spade, so this all looks very similar to what happened at the other table. Declare wins and leads the queen of diamonds, once again squashing the jack. So everything is going almost exactly the same, although 1 fewer round of clubs has been played. And North now returns another diamond. Oh, it's actually interesting to note that East ducked the queen of diamonds on the way back. That may have been because East doesn't know about the diamond jack. If East knew that his partner had the jack of diamonds, then on the queen of diamonds lead, he can tell that his 9 of diamonds will actually be a winner. And he doesn't need to duck this, so he can pray that his 4 diamonds will somehow magically set up towards the endgame. But since he doesn't know about the diamond jack, remember that North played the 10 on the 1st round and that forced out his king. Ducking this diamond gives Declare a chance to go wrong by continuing the suit, hoping that it splits in a favorable manner. He also might expect that North started the hand with 7 diamonds, in which case this jack of diamonds would just be over here. There wouldn't be any sort of guess that Declare is making, especially because Declare preempted at the 3 level. So for a lot of reasons, East had a tough choice here and elected to duck the Queen of Diamonds. And now North just kind of wants to end play the opponents. He doesn't have any great reason to go after the club suit himself. So he exits a diamond, even though he knows that the diamonds aren't splitting when this sort of trick happens, the Jack of Diamonds drops. So we'll see what East does at this point. He cashes the diamond ace because he doesn't want to be unplayed anymore. And exits the King of Hearts to tap Declare. So Declare is now going to have to lead clubs. Oh, Declare ducks this trick. Did that make any sense? So now East is end played, but he can just lead a club. It gives Declare the club finesse, but the third round of clubs is still going to be a loser. So it seems more natural for Declare to rough this, lead King of Clubs and a high club, and then he knows that both the King of Spades and Queen of Hearts are high. So whichever hand West ends up leading to, whether West has to lead a club back to the 8, which does set up only because East has the 9 doubleton, or if West has to lead a major suit into the dummy, dummy's going to be high at the end of the hand. So this looks like a mistake from Declare, but there wasn't a 100% line of play. So I guess Declare was hoping that the club suit was splitting 3-3, maybe that West had started with 4 hearts and 4 spades and 2 diamonds and therefore 3 clubs, in which case this would be a guaranteed way to collect the remainder of the tricks. But East now returns the 9 of clubs. This gets ducked around to the Jack. King of Clubs gets cashed, and when East shows out, Declare loses an extra trick. So that ends up being 800. Okay, well, that was a long one. Let me take a look and see if there are any other hands that we might be able to get through really quickly. I don't want this to be a very long recap video because this is just the start of the segment, or the start of the match. So let's take a look at this hand. There's probably going to be some interesting decisions in the bidding, but let's just quickly go through it. And looking at it, there's probably something appealing about the play of the hand, but it looks like the hearts in East's hand will set up for some discards. So South passes in first seat, 7 high card points, not good enough to open. West opens a diamond. North passes, East bids a heart, and South now comes in with a spade. I'm not thrilled about the 1 spade overcall, but I understand it, and I think it's probably the bid I would make. I'm not convinced, but there's definitely merit for bidding a spade, that merit being we're probably never declaring, and if I don't do this, partner might choose to lead a club instead of spades against the opponent's contract. Some of the dangers, we might be getting doubled, and we could be going for 500 at the 1 level against the opponent's part score. Also, your partner might expect a little bit extra from you in the way of offense, and you just don't have that. The Queen of Hearts is a terrible card. But I don't want to dwell too much on it. Let's just take a look at the remainder of the auction. So 1 spade, pass, and East reopens with the double. Pass by South. And this double makes a lot of sense. So even though East has a strong hand that's good enough to game force, he's just saying, if you were planning to pass out 1 spade doubled for penalties, I'm quite happy to defend that contract. He has good spades, a lot of aces and kings that are going to take tricks on defense. So he would expect, even though their side has a game which would score 400 points or 450 points or whatever, he would expect to collect even more of a penalty defending 1 spade doubled. So South passes, West bids 2 diamonds, just a minimum opening hand. He has some extra diamonds, probably a 5-card suit, In all likelihood, if West wasn't planning to pass a reopening double with a 6-card diamond suit, he would surely bid 2 diamonds over the 1 spade overcall. Another interesting thing to note is that West has already denied 3 hearts, so East knows that he doesn't need to show his heart length anymore. They would have used support doubles to show 3-card heart support, even on a minimum opening hand. So North now comes in with 2 spades, and this makes some sense, but I think from North's perspective, I would be a little terrified about what's going on. Your partner couldn't open the bidding, was able to overcall 1 spade, and we have 4 high card points. So the opponents must have a game. I'm not sure what the 2 spade bid is really doing for us. Maybe it is suggesting a save and say 4 spades later in the auction. But we don't really want our partner to lead spades if he doesn't want to against, say, 3 no trump, because it's not like our spades are queen third or jack third even. We have 3 small. So if our partner wasn't going to lead a spade already from his hand, we don't really want to convince him that that's the correct opening lead. We would rather have a club lead towards our hand. Then we can put a spade through declare. If declare ends up bidding 3 no trump, or East, if East ends up bidding 3 no trump, for example. So I'm not too happy about the 2 spade bid, but there's probably not a whole lot wrong with it. It seems very unlikely the opponents are going to double us at this point, given that they didn't double 1 spade for penalties, and we know they have a game, so maybe this will help preempt them in their auction in some way, like East now doesn't have a 2 spade Q bid available to show game force. Okay, so East bids 3 spades, which is probably the best thing he can do at this point. I don't know if this is specifically asking if West wants to bid 3 no trump, or if this is just some sort of artificial game force. But given that West doesn't bid 3 no trump, which I think I probably would holding queen third of spades, if 3 spades was some sort of asking bid, maybe 3 spades for them is just an artificial game force, not necessarily looking for a spade stopper. So West bids 4 clubs. He still doesn't know what his partner's 1 heart bid looks like. It could still have long hearts. It could still have hearts and clubs. It could have diamond support. It could just be holding a spade stopper, but a little bit too strong to bid 3 no trump. So he bids 4 clubs just to wait. I feel like I probably would have bid 3 no trump anyway, although queen third of spades is obviously not the most desirable holding that we could have, but our hand's balanced, we don't have a heart fit. I would rather convey that sort of information to my partner than the fact that I have a club suit. And East elects to just jump to 6 diamonds. Now, I wonder maybe 3 spades in this scenario actually shows diamond support, in which case 4 clubs would just be a Q bid. All of that's possible. Let's quickly step through the play a little bit. I can't imagine that this is going to be all that interesting. I do see a bunch of potential squeeze possibilities, but after the opening spade lead, surely we just duck this around to the queen, or to the king, setting up the queen for a club discard. Trumps get pulled, and that will be the end of the hand. Yeah, so declare feels very safe in playing 3 rounds of spades immediately before trying to pull trumps, because North supported spades on this auction, and now he tries to rough 2 clubs in the dummy, diamond the queen, and yes, once this holds and both opponents follow, declare is able to claim. All right, let's take a look at what happened at the other table quickly. So West opens a diamond, showing 4 or more diamonds. We mentioned this in the past, that a lot of these expert partnerships like to play a 1 club opening, can be as few as a doubleton. East bids a heart, and South bids a spade after passing originally. So both Souths agree that this hand is worthwhile to come in with 1 spade. West bids a no trump, denying 3-card heart support, otherwise he would have made a support double. This is very reasonable. I wonder why West didn't pass. Seems a little strange, but nothing wrong with bidding a no trump. The spade stopper's a little weak. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about, but it does convey that you don't have heart support. It conveys your high card points. So either pass or a no trump both make sense. And East elects to not investigate any further. So he just bids 3 no trump. It's reasonable. I am a little concerned by this bid because given that we know West has at least 4 diamonds, we know we have a diamond fit. Given that we know West has at most 2 hearts, we know we don't have any heart losers in a diamond contract. And with partner bidding a no trump, partner might easily have the spade king. So isn't it possible that partner even has the king of spades instead of the queen for this kind of auction? That seems entirely reasonable, in which case, to make a grand slam, all we would need would be 3 hearts. So it seems a little premature to just sign off. I think something more natural like bidding 2 spades to show game force immediately. And then when partner bids 3 diamonds, we can bid 4 diamonds. We shouldn't be all that concerned that the opponents are going to be able to take 4 tricks in no trump and not just 3. So 4 no trump should be a safe contract for us to stay in. Yeah, it feels like East dropped the ball on this one with such a great hand, good controls, and a known diamond fit. This is one of the huge bonuses for having a 1 diamond opening show 4, is that you can find 4 forfeits in this way. And in this scenario, it's actually a 5 forfeit. So, all right, let's quickly step through the play. I expect an opening spade lead from North. He leads a 3rd best spade. This goes to the king. Club gets switched. Declare ducks. Very reasonable when we don't have a trump suit, so there's no reason to discard our queen of clubs from the dummy. And now there's just 11 tricks set up. 2 clubs, 2 spades, 2 hearts, and 5 diamonds. So a big swing to the Spector team here for what I would say is just being a little more open and flexible in their auction and exploring for a diamond fit. Well, that's going to do it for the first segment of the recap. And join me again tomorrow as I look at the second segment of this match between Spector and Beatty.